Good day, everyone. I'm Melvyn C. Valenzuela, author, coach, and trainer. Today, we are not just talking about corruption. We are talking about transformation. Corruption is not only a government issue, it's a human issue. It's in the small things we tolerate, the shortcuts we allow, and the silence we maintain. Imagine our country as a long chain. Each link represents trust, honesty, and hope. Every time one link breaks, our entire nation weakens. But today, we learn how to repair that chain, not by shouting louder, but by living better. Not by replacing people, but by rebuilding principles. Decaying values. Corruption grows where values decay. Entitlement replaces humility. Greed replaces gratitude. Apathy replaces action. When our heroes are rich instead of righteous, and when discarte becomes more admired than discipline, we have lost our moral compass. The truth is, corruption is not just a financial issue. It is a spiritual and cultural decay, and only renewed values can cure it. 3 truths about corruption. Let me share 3 truths. First, corruption is not about money. It's about integrity. You can be poor and corrupt. You can be rich and honest. Second, it begins in small dishonest acts. Nangopya lang naman ako becomes nagpadulas lang naman ako. Third, it survives through silence. When we say wala namang mawawala, we lose something greater, our integrity. Integrity is doing what's right even when nobody is watching, and especially when nobody will reward you. Everyday examples. Corruption doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's trained. When a student cheats, when an employee fakes receipts, when a parent says, "Basta huwag kang mahuli," these are the building blocks of corruption. A student who cheats today may become a manager who lies tomorrow. A worker who manipulates reports today may become a public official who manipulates budgets later. Small wrongs prepare the soul for bigger betrayals. The real enemy. The real enemy isn't evil. It's indifference. Corruption thrives when good people do nothing. When we shrug and say, "Ganyan na talaga," we grant permission for corruption to continue. Evil doesn't need to be strong. It only needs good people to stay silent. That's why moral courage is more powerful than money or law. When ordinary citizens start caring, corruption begins to die. In government, we blame leaders, but we are the ones who elect them. We vote for personality, not principle. We choose entertainment over ethics. We reward familiarity instead of integrity. Every vote we cast shapes our future, for better or worse. When we sell our votes, we sell our children's opportunities. Leadership mirrors the people who choose them. So if we want honest leaders, we must be honest voters. In private enterprise, in private offices, corruption often wears a suit. Fake receipts, overpricing, under-the-table deals. We say, "Okay lang, company naman ang magbabayad." But every peso stolen from honesty is a peso stolen from progress. Integrity is not bad for business. It is good business. Because companies built on trust earn something that money can't buy: respect. In schools, schools are supposed to train minds and shape character. But when cheating and plagiarism are ignored, we are not educating. We are manufacturing future corruption. A student who learns that dishonesty is rewarded may someday use that same lesson in government or business. That is why education must not only build knowledge, it must build character. In business, Some call tax evasion discarte. Some justify smuggling as strategy. But success built on dishonesty is failure in disguise. Shortcuts may bring quick wins, but they always end in collapse. Integrity is the foundation of sustainable success. Without honesty, no business and no nation can stand for long. In family life, corruption begins and can end in the family. When parents say, "Wag kang papahuli," instead of "Wag kang mandaya," they are planting seeds of dishonesty. Children do not obey advice. They imitate behavior. If we want our children to be honest, we must show them what honesty looks like every single day. Nipping corruption in the bud. Corruption can be unlearned. Corruption is learned, which means it can be unlearned. We do not end corruption by fear alone, but by example. Punishment changes behavior temporarily, but inspiration changes behavior permanently. If we teach integrity early, children will grow up allergic to dishonesty. 5 principles to stop corruption. Here are 5 principles we can live by. 1. Teach integrity early. 2. Live transparency daily. 3. Promote accountability. 4. Reinforce values in schools. 5. Encourage civic courage. Each principle builds a habit, and a nation is nothing more than the sum of its people's habits. Teach integrity early. Children are natural truth tellers until adults train them otherwise. When parents keep promises, admit mistakes, and speak truth kindly, they build honest hearts. The first classroom is the home. Integrity must be taught not through lectures, but through living examples. Transparency and accountability. Corruption hides in darkness. We must shine light where secrets live. In government, that means open records. In companies, that means clean books. In homes, that means honest conversations. Accountability is not about punishment. It's about responsibility and growth. Transparency builds trust, and trust builds nations. Courageous citizenship. Corruption thrives when good people stay silent. Integrity requires courage to say no, to stand alone, to speak truth to power. Bravery is not the absence of fear. It is doing what's right despite fear. Let's be that one upright figure among the bowed silhouettes, because one voice of courage can awaken 1,000 silent hearts. Parents, the front line of change, the power of example. Children don't remember what we say, they remember what we do. They will forget our lectures, but never our lifestyle. If they see us cutting corners, they'll think it's normal. If they see us doing right, even when it's hard, they'll believe it's possible. Your example is your greatest legacy. Home, as the first classroom. Every home teaches something, whether we mean to or not. Teach truthfulness, reward honesty, keep promises, admit mistakes. When the home becomes a sanctuary of integrity, we no longer need laws to force morality, because it will already live in our hearts. The legacy question. Ask yourself, are we raising the next generation of reformers or repeaters? If our children see integrity in us, they will carry it forward. If they see compromise, they will continue the cycle. The soil of family life will determine the kind of trees our nation grows. Plant truth, and you will harvest reform. The 3 books that can help. The Triple Path to Integrity. My 3 books are my contribution to this mission. Paalala ni Lolo teaches character. The art of smart tactics teaches wisdom. The self-rescue playbook teaches responsibility. Together, they form the triangle of transformation. Character, wisdom, responsibility. The antidote to corruption. Paalala ni Lolo. This book is a collection of Filipino wisdom about respect, dignity, and doing what's right even when no one sees. Delicadeza may sound old-fashioned, but it's the foundation of good governance. If every home practiced even half of Lolo's reminders, we would see moral rebirth in one generation. Do what is right, even when no one is watching. The art of smart tactics. Being smart is not about manipulation. It's about principled strategy. Real intelligence is guided by integrity. Because smart without integrity is sabotage. This book teaches how to win, not through cheating, but through character. Because wisdom is the highest form of strategy. The self-rescue playbook. Corruption thrives on blame and victimhood. But this book says, you are your own rescue. Stop waiting for heroes. Be one. Take responsibility. Own your choices. Reform begins when we stop pointing fingers and start taking action. Change begins the moment you take responsibility. The transformation triangle. When character, wisdom, and responsibility meet, corruption dies. That's the triangle of transformation. It's not magic, it's discipline. And when lived, it makes a person, a family, and a nation incorruptible. Call to action. Integrity is a choice. Corruption is not destiny. It's a decision. And so is honesty. Every day, every transaction, every vote, every promise, we decide what kind of nation we are building. Let integrity be your daily choice, and it will soon become your legacy. The pledge. Let's take this pledge together. I will be the generation that ends corruption, not by complaining, but by living right. Raise your hand for honesty, for integrity, for the next generation. Because real reform begins when one person decides to live differently. What we must do. Here's our roadmap. Read and live the lessons from the 3 books. Reflect daily and teach your children well. Choose honesty in every transaction. Vote, work, and live with conscience. Every good deed is a seed, and someday, those seeds will become a forest of integrity. Final words. When you lose money, you can earn it back. When you lose property, you can rebuild. But when you lose integrity, rebuilding it takes a lifetime. Let's raise a generation where honesty is the default, not the exception. Together we can end corruption and build a Philippines worthy of pride, purpose, and peace. I am Melvyn C. Valenzuela, empowering integrity, one life at a time. Maraming salamat po.